ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 21. विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथे छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते सचास्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे। Translation. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive action is terminated when one sees the self as master. Very beautiful shloka. Vidyate hridaya grantis chidyante sarva samshayah shiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishware. So here it is said, what happens to a devotee who attains perfection? Now when he attains perfection, he is getting sakshat darshan of the Lord. So this is there. And when he attains sakshat darshan of the Lord, he is on a different platform of bliss altogether. But there is some secondary result also. What is the secondary result of perceiving the Lord within or without? That is given in this particular shloka. Three things are given. Vidyate hridaya grantis. So the knot in the heart is pierced. So get ready. Second, chidyante sarva samshayah. All the misgivings are removed. And third, kshiyante chasya karmani. All the karmic reactions which are there, all of them are destroyed. So what is this knot all about? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, knot is knot of spirit and matter. Spirit and matter. Knot. And that's called ahankar. And the knot shloka. What is that knot shloka? That's the knot shloka. That is also good. But one level ahead from Bhagavatam. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavametat tayor mitho hridaya granthi mahuhu. Ato grahashita kshetra sutapta vittair janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So here it is said, Pumsa striya mithuni bhavametam tayor mitho hridaya granthi mahuhu. So the knot begins when the male and female come together. As soon as they associate with each other, especially indulge in sexual intercourse, so what happens? Immediately there is a knot. That's called hridaya granthi. And this hridaya granthi is very dangerous. Why? Because after that begins the movie. Griha means rented or own house? Okay, you all decide whatever you want. Griha, Kshetra, land or field. So, since before the occupation was about farming, so Kshetra. Suta, kids. Apta, Vitta, wealth. So 5 things are listed here. And then it is said, Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The person is stuck in aham and mameti. Aham means I and mameti means mine. So this is me, and anything that is connected to me, it's all mine. Very, very strong knot. This is ahankar. And it is very nice to note that we are not tired of doing this. Lifetime after lifetime, we are doing this only. In cat's body, dog's body, worm's body, the worm in the stool is doing the same thing. And the worm in the stool of the worm is doing the same thing. Is doing the same thing. And how many times in human forms, we have done sense gratification. But we are not tired. हमेशा नया लगता है. All glories to Maya Shakti. She makes us believe. नहीं तू पहली बार कर रहा है, टेंशन मत ले. You are enjoying for the first time. When we were joining Brahmacharya Ashram, at that time my mother was telling me, why is needed such a young age? Why you have to do all this? You first enjoy life first, and then after that, you do bhakti. What is there in that? You've not done these different things. She was listing like a very kind mother. This is what I was telling. We have done it many, many times. Many, many times. Various different sense gratification. But every time we feel it new. Because Maya Shakti covers all our intelligence. All our remembrance. And she makes us believe, pehli baar. It's the first time. Therefore, this point is very important. This knot is very, very strong knot. The knot of Ahankar. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter, Shloka 4. Please repeat. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu Khammano buddhirevacha Ahankaramiti yamme Bhinna prakritirashtadha. Very beautifully, Krishna is saying that 8 separated energies of mind. Bhumi, Apo, Anala, Vayu, Kham. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then Mana, Buddhi and Ahankar. So you see, earth is the grossest. Earth, then water, then fire, then air. Now air you cannot see also. You can just feel. Then comes ether, the space. Now space you cannot feel also. You can just hear the sound that travels from it. And beyond that is mind, which is even subtler. More subtler than that is intelligence, buddhi. And the subtlest is ahankar. Well, at least intelligence, somewhat we'll be able to make out. Mind we can make out, thinking, feeling, willing, likes, dislikes, all that. Intelligence also we can make out based on the decisions that we take, correct, incorrect, the distinguishing power. Ahankar, how can we make out? Just think about this. It is so subtle. It is there, but at the same time, you'll not be able to perceive it in any ways. Therefore, in the entire chariot analogy, we say that the entire chariot, entire rath is the body. The 5 horses are the 5 senses. The bridle, the rope which is tying the horses is mind. And the person holding the rope is intelligence. And the person sitting in the chariot, where is Ahankar? Where is Ahankar? Ahankar makes the person sitting in the chariot to believe that he is the chariot. This is Ahankar. This is false ego. The person is made to believe that no, you are actually this chariot. So anything happens to this chariot, you should feel bad. You should feel hurt. You should be affected. So this is what is the job of Ahankar, false ego. To make us believe. That's what Prabhupada, he writes that Ahankar, it makes us believe that we are this body. And it's very important to note that it is the most subtlest and the most toughest. Most toughest to get rid of. And it is described that lifetime after lifetime it remains with all of us. And this Ahankar makes us believe something else only. Please repeat. Ahankare matta hoya nitai pada pasariya. Ahankare matta hoya nitai pada pasariya. Asatere satya kori mani. Asatere satya kori mani. What does Ahankar make us do? Ahankar, it firstly makes us forget the Lord, and it makes us believe that which is Satya to be Asatya, and that which is Asatya to be Satya. that which is true to be false, and that which is false to be true. Therefore, in this world, we see that even when everyone knows that so many things around is temporary and various things of this world are temporary, various things are illusion, so even then people are so serious. All glories. And we should pat Ahankar. Congratulations, you've done it. Successfully, every single living entity in this world, including the animals, we will see that they have this problem of aham and mameti. One of our devotee was there in native place, and the devotee was chanting. And there was some female dog who gave birth to a lot of puppies. This devotee was walking. So bead bag was there in the hand. So maybe the bead bag was also moving. So the female dog, she felt that, okay, she is coming to harm, or this person is coming to harm my puppies. So immediately the female dog pounced at this devotee, and other dogs also came and they attacked this devotee. Hari Bol. Purification by chanting. Now I was contemplating on this. Why the female dog did like that? Because this ahankar is there even in the dog, ingrained. Me, mere bacche, my kids. And just because the dog felt that this person will harm my puppies, immediately pounced. And then the community of other dogs who were related maybe to that female dog, all of them also came and joined. So in this way we see that how ahankar is there even in the animals. And this false ego makes the person believe that I am this body. You can always imagine like this. We have subtle body, mind, intelligence. And then we have the gross body. And the soul is there in the subtle body. So that Fevikwik which glues us to the subtle body and the gross body is ahankar. This is what is the job of ahankar. And the best part is it cannot be destroyed. And even more best part is even time cannot destroy ahankar. Just think about this. When the complete annihilation happens, complete pralaya, and then all the living entities, they enter the body of Garbhodaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu in the case of complete pralaya. So even at that time, ahankar is still there. And when the living entities are again back onto this material world, so what happens? Again they are back in aham and mameti. Chalta rehta hai. So this is all about ahankar, false ego. Let's take it more practical in our day-to-day life, how ahankar works. So ahankar is like a trishul, having 3 prongs. And it keeps hitting us every now and then in various ways. So the first one is game, second is blame, and shame. This is what the ahankar does, or hurts us by these 3 prongs. The first one is game. As soon as we start doing something, ahankar will make us believe that you can do it, you are extraordinary, no one can do like you. This is ahankar. The first thing, you enter the game. And as soon as you enter this game, what happens is, we start seeing others. He nahi kar payega. He's lower than me. That person is lower than me. Especially those who are not as talented as we are. And then, naturally, he'll put down the other people. And when he puts down the other people, and naturally he becomes proud, so what happens? It becomes very difficult to live with others. Or I think I should be more precise. It's very difficult for others to live with us. And that's a fact. And in this way, what happens is, people distance from us. Even when we win the game of achieving something, achieving some dream of ours, even then we become lonely and unhappy because we don't have people around. Therefore, the big shots, they go up, and they're the only ones at the top. Even for that matter, in devotee circle, this is the thing that can happen. Where initially we'll have a lot of friends and this and that, even in devotee circle. And as we go higher and higher, maybe as some managerial roles, and then finally reach some role which is really high on the managerial terms. So initially all hasi mazak and all that was happening, but now as you reach there is no hasi mazak, there is no friends, etc. The person is alone. Therefore, since all of us are into various services and all of us are going to go higher and higher taking various services, we should remember one thing. It doesn't matter that how many services we do. It doesn't matter how many followers we get or whatever it is. One thing you have to understand is that we are the same ordinary devotee because we have not attained Krishna Prem. So where is the question of ignoring other devotees? Where is the question of undermining other devotees and things like that? Very, very important caution, by the way, for all of us. You all will remember this line of today's class, when you'll see yourself alone somewhere. Therefore, it's very important to have peers and it's very important to have superiors. Because as you go higher and higher, after some time, superiors will also not be there. Abhi kya bolenge superior jaake 16 mala karo? You are expected to inspire others to chant 16 rounds. What will superiors ask us at that time? What question will they ask? Are you reading for 1 hour? Are you hearing for 1 hour? वो बोलेगा प्रभु मैं 5 क्लास देता हूँ दिन में. Reading hearing. And then are you doing services? Entire damn doing service only. What else I'm doing? So what will superiors also ask? You see? Therefore, we have to cling on to the superiors to take their guidance and help at that point. They will not be coming to us like initially they do. Very important. So now when the person, let's talk about materials now. Now when the person is not able to achieve something, then immediately he starts blaming others. Why I was not able to do this? Immediately the false ego starts protecting. It starts blaming others. Now see, I was doing it properly, but uske wajah se nahi hua. That person, this person. So in this blame game, what happens is, the person does not take the responsibility of his own shortcomings and mistakes. It was very nice. I was telling one devotee, अरे तू मोटा हो गया है? तो नहीं प्रभु जी कुर्ता छोटा हो गया. And there's not one devotee. Multiple times this has happened. So नहीं प्रभु जी कुर्ता छोटा हो गया. कुर्ता कैसे छोटा हो सकता है? Krishna. Anyways, so one thing is there. Tell me that when we blame others, who is at loss? Who is at loss when we blame others? सब एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं. So who is at loss? The person who is blaming. Okay, what will happen to him? Why is at loss? He will not improve. Simple. कभी improve करेगा ही नहीं वो. He'll never improve. In fact, improve छोड़ो. If he becomes stagnant, then still okay. But what if he degrades from that position? थोड़ा ही भक्ति किया, आया ऊपर, and then he is not ready to improve. Therefore, one thing that we see is those people who are not ready to accept their mistakes, at least in devotee circle I have seen, and who are trying to justify their mistakes, they are the ones who never advance in Krishna consciousness. We have a list of people like that who are still stuck, very badly stuck. A superior is trying to tell something and the devotee is not ready to accept one's own mistake, justifying. नहीं bro, ऐसे नहीं था. Actually ऐसे हो गया था तो इसलिए ऐसे हुआ or whatever. Not ready to accept. And finally, the superior who is already busy with his own services and his own sadhana, he says, oh, aisa kya? Okay, no problem. You're a good boy. Hare Krishna. Get lost from here now. I don't have time to hear your justification. So blame. And now when the person is trying to blame, and he's not able to point at anyone, he's not able to find anyone. So at that time, he starts feeling shame. He starts feeling shame. And then he starts condemning himself. And you know what? Who is doing all this? Who is making us enter the game? Who is making us blame? And who is making us feel shame? It's false ego. So he starts condemning. The false ego starts condemning. And it's very nice to note that the person starts collapsing within. He's feeling very shameful. And this false ego beats us down to such an extent that the person starts feeling worthless, useless, hopeless. All these different symptoms can be seen in that person. And the worst part is, the shame strips us of our energy for self-improvement. वो देखता ही नहीं कुछ self-improvement के लिए. He gets into depressed or sometimes suicide also. So I was just contemplating, when I was reading this, I was contemplating on Daksha pastime. So the entire assembly is filled with all great personalities. Yajna is happening or about to start. Brahma is sitting, Lord Shiva is sitting, all the great personalities are sitting. And Daksha enters the arena. He does not just enter the arena, he enters a game also. Game of being very respectful in the entire place. Now when he enters, so naturally everyone got up. Everyone stood up. And when everyone stood up, so he felt nice. Okay, I am the winner of the game. But ऐसे वो देख रहा था, सब उठे कि नहीं. And he saw that four-headed person is still sitting. Brahma was still sitting. मेरे पापा है, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता. It's okay. He is superior to me. And then he looked at Lord Shiva. Then he went mad. Internally got affected. वो बता नहीं रहा था बाहर. Very nice. Very nice. अब देखता हूँ तुझे. And then he went and he sat. And after he sat, and everyone sat down, at that time he started his pravachan. It was not pravachan, that was. He started speaking. And at that time he started blaming. Various things he spoke at that time. He started speaking about Lord Shiva himself. You have seen your eyes? Your eyes are like that of monkeys. My daughter's eyes are like so beautiful as a deer. He went on and on. Finally he has to blame, no? He started blaming Brahma also. मैं तो लड़की नहीं देना चाहता था इसको. Because of him. Because Brahma said, I gave my daughter to him. And for this day, he is my son-in-law and he is not standing up and receiving me. Just imagine. खड़ा तो नहीं हुआ, that's it. He didn't get up, but then Daksha was not able to take it. So in this way, he entered the game. He entered the game of blame also. And finally, a lot of things happened after that. Because he started blaspheming Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva does not get affected with all this. He's self-controlled. He left the arena. But then there was a huge thing that started between Nandi and the followers of Lord Shiva and Bhrigu Muni siding with Daksha. And there was a huge fight that started, huge arguments that started. And here, when Lord Shiva left that place, so Sati, she got to know that Daksha has arranged another yajna in his home. And Sati is like, मेरे पापा ने arrange किया yajna, मुझे जाने दीजिए. And Lord Shiva, he tried his best to convince. See, if you go there, he'll not respect you. And it'll be a big problem. And she was not listening. And she was very ziddi. And then finally Lord Shiva said, Jo karna karo. Yes. Finally many husbands end up doing this. And the wife said, okay, मैं जा रही हूँ. And she left. She went to the house of Daksha and कोई भाव ही नहीं दे रहा उसको. Mother and the sisters, they came to receive. But she was interested to be received by father. And father is not looking at her at all. At that time, Sati decided, what's the point? Let me commit suicide. And she produced fire within and she burnt herself. And Lord Shiva got to know. Long past time, cutting it short, Lord Shiva created a demon, Veerabhadra. And Veerabhadra came and he cut or he chopped off the head of Daksha. And at that time, surgery was really at a very high class level. Can you imagine? अभी तो केवल हम वो सुनते हैं ना, heart transplant, kidney transplant, liver transplant and all that. They transplanted a head. मतलब कभी कोई समझ नहीं आता मुझे. We think that science is advanced, very advanced. कहाँ advanced? यहाँ देखिए. And that too, the best thing is not the human's head. Goat's head was put. Goat's head was transplanted. And with time, see, just imagine Daksha's position. With time, he started feeling so embarrassed and so shameful that finally he committed suicide out of embarrassment and shame. So in this way, false ego kahan se hame kahan le jaye, we will never know. Making us enter the game and then blame and then shame. And even in devotee community, at times this happens. So many times it has taken place where a devotee is not honored or whatever, then this blame game. And after that, feeling so ashamed for one's own activity, the person leaves bhakti. Therefore, we shouldn't enter this game of blame and shame and destroy our own devotional service. And this is all orchestrated by whom? This is all orchestrated by false ego. Now, there's something called true ego also, no? No, true ego. So, ego is there. Whenever we say ego, it means ahankar. And when we say shuddha ahankar, that means true ego. So, true ego means being in one's own constitutional position. Jivera swarup hoy, Krishnera nityadas. ये तो बोल तो देते हैं हम लोग. That's very nice. At least I think we have begun, at least by speaking. So we chant it, yes, Krishnera nityadas. But to get that into our own system of being das of Krishna is very difficult, isn't it? So that is our natural constitutional position of being das of the Lord. And that is actually true ego. The true ego is this, that I am servant of Krishna. What's the true ego? I thought you will say you are servant of Krishna. So true ego is I am servant of Krishna. This true ego. And false ego is I am the master. And the pinnacle of false ego is I am Krishna. This pinnacle of false ego. So wonderful. Yes. And all those devotees who understand the pinnacle is also very wonderful. So what does bhakti do? Bhakti transforms our mood from boss to das. From the mood of a master to the mood of a servant. Therefore, at the time of initiation, the spiritual master, he gives a spiritual name and he gives a title to us. And that title is Das. Many times people say, wow, कितना अच्छा नाम दिया इसको. अरे वो नाम के बाद जो है, that is important. That's Das. एक कहीं तो some initiation was going on. I was present there. And some nice name of Srimati Radharani was given. And all the devotees, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. She is not become Radharani. The name is given Dasi. That's the name. That's the name. Once a devotee went to Srila Prabhupada and he told Srila Prabhupada, I forgot the name that you gave me. Ye tha initial initiation. I really wonder how much patience Prabhupada had. I forgot my name. And Prabhupada said, do you remember the last word in the name? He said, yes. And what is that? Das. That is what is important. Prabhupada said, that is what is important. And that is actually what is important. Therefore, when we initiated devotees, when we introduce ourselves, so we shouldn't stop at the first part. What's your name? Kartikeya. अरे भाई उसके बाद वाला कौन बोलेगा? Kartikeya Das. And newcomers are really wonderful. You ask them, what is your name? And say the person's name is, कौन सा नाम बोलो? गलती से अगर हम हेवनली प्लैनेट चले गए, ऐसी पिटाई होगी हमारी. Okay, चलो, we'll say Tony. You ask, so what is your name? Tony Prabhu. सामने से बोलता है Tony Prabhu. So many times has happened. I have spoken. So what is your name? आगे प्रभु डालते हैं उसके आगे. So from that mood, from the mood of Prabhu, the one has to come to the mood of Das. This is what bhakti does. It transforms our entire mood from the mood of a master to the mood of a servant. And it's very nice to note. It's very, very nice to note that a living entity who has got into this mode of being a master, when he thinks that I should start serving Krishna, ऐसे एक thought भी जब आता है ना, that is actually a historic moment in the life of a living entity. Because it's not an ordinary thing. Not an ordinary thing. We celebrate birthday, we celebrate anniversaries, etc. We should celebrate that historic moment also. I'm sure किसी ने याद नहीं रखा होगा. But it's a very celebrating moment. It deserves celebration. Because from time immemorial, the devotee has been thinking, or the living entity has been thinking, I am master, and he's suffering in this world because of that ahankar of being the master. And suddenly, by the mercy of devotees and the mercy of the Lord, he gets the thought. And what's the thought all about? I am servant of Krishna, so I should serve Krishna. Momentary, I'm not saying ekdam full-fledged. Momentary thought that yes, I'm servant of Krishna and I should serve Krishna. That one thought that the living entity gets, that's a historic moment. Because jo time immemorial se nahi hua tha, that is going to happen now from this one thought that I am servant of Krishna. Therefore, we are so fortunate. Srila Prabhupada इतने बार बोल के एटलीस्ट थियोरेटिकली घुसा दिए दिमाग में दैट वी आर सर्वेंट ऑफ कृष्ण. घुसा दिए एकदम से दिमाग में. अगर नहीं घुसाए तो बाकी भागवतम स्पीकर घुसा देते हैं सर्वेंट ऑफ कृष्ण. अगर वो नहीं घुसाए तो सर्विस इंचार्ज घुसा देते हैं यू सर्वेंट ऑफ कृष्ण एंड यू माय सर्वेंट आल्सो. False ego is very difficult to remove. But all the ones who do this, they are very much smiling and laughing. See, false ego is so difficult to remove. It's so strong, it's so tough. But any devotee who is sincere and really aspiring, मतलब उसको theoretically समझ गया, he is understanding that I am servant of Krishna, but it's very difficult to imbibe the mood of a servant. From time immemorial, you have been, all of us have been acting as master, and suddenly how will we change a servant? It's almost like a person, entire life he has done sense gratification, entire life. Watching TV, doing this and that, and finally, towards the end of his life, you ask him chant Hare Krishna. Is it possible? It's impossible. He cannot chant Hare Krishna at that time. Even if he chants, just imagine when he's chanting Hare Krishna, क्या बजेगा उसके कान में? क्या scenes आएंगे उसके दिमाग में? Devotees tell me that probably 10 years back, the movie that I saw, that movie is coming now while chanting Hare Krishna, 16 rounds. Movie was of 2 hours, chanting is of 2 hours. नहीं तो गाने गूंजते रहते हैं. Can you imagine 10 years, 12 years before? And suddenly that samskar was so strong that manifests. Tell me, those people who have done sense gratification throughout, क्या करेंगे भक्ति old age में? Similarly, as this old person is not able to switch from his mode of sense gratification to bhakti, similarly, we living entities from time immemorial, we have been doing sense gratification as masters, and suddenly it is told to us that you're a servant. You should do you should do service as a servant. It's very difficult, but still the devotee sincerely tries. He tries chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when he's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what is he trying to do? He's telling himself and he's telling the Lord that, oh Krishna, oh Srimati Radharani, I am your eternal servant. Please engage me in your loving devotional service. This is what is the training that he is giving himself. When he's hearing the glories of the Lord, he's training himself that, yes, I am servant and I should hear about my master. He's training himself for all this. And when the devotee sincerely trains himself, Krishna also seriously takes interest in the life of the devotee. And Krishna tries his best to remove the false ego. Break the false ego. He breaks. And Krishna does that, it's painful. Are we ready for the surgery? तो भागवतम क्लास में क्यों बैठे सर्जरी नहीं चाहिए तो? In fact, every devotee should be ready for the surgery. Difficult. सोचिए, when this gross body, when we are supposed to leave this gross body, it is so painful. Just imagine when the subtle body का subtlest thing is broken, how much pain it will give. Just think about that. So that way, a devotee should be ready to endure. He should be ready to tolerate. And a devotee who is very sincere to attain Krishna is ready to bear the pain of the operation which is done by the Lord to remove the ahankar, that is false ego. And sincere devotees will pray to Krishna that, oh Krishna, please help me to get rid of this false ego. This false ego is the cause of everything, O Lord. Please help me to get rid of this false ego. And then Krishna might be telling the devotee, Pakka? और एक बार पक्का पूछने से ही devotee शांत हो जाता है. And then devotee says, yes. And again the Lord is asking, sure? Are you really sure? And the devotee is again thinking, ये बार-बार क्यों पूछ रहे हैं? चालू कहाँ से करेंगे? And finally, when the devotee is ready, ekdam aisa intense desire. Well, the strong kida is there inside to attain Krishna. And with that, the devotee says, I am ready for anything and everything, O Lord. Please purify me. And then the Lord says, okay, I'll give you anesthesia and then start the surgery. Don't worry. Thoda pain hoga, bear the pain. Therefore, Krishna takes charge of the devotee, of a sincere sadhaka, and whatever traces of anarthas are there, especially this false ego, Krishna removes that. And we have so many examples in the history. We have Bali Maharaj. And Vamandev came and Vamandev was asking, give me 3 steps of land. And Bali Maharaj is saying, your 3 steps. You're talking to Ishvara. And Vamandev is saying, acha, Ishvara. Tu ki main? But Bali Maharaj, I am Ishvara. I own all the 3 planetary system. Ask whatever you want, I'll give you. And Balima and Vamandev had decided to help him. Bali Maharaj was a sincere devotee. And what did Vamandev do? Vamandev did the surgery and removed the false ego. But at that time, it was really, I'm sure it might be painful. Can you imagine the entire assembly? Sare log hai. All the mentors sitting here, just think about. You're there and all your 100 mentees are sitting around you. And then your counselor is beating you left and right in front of everyone. प्रभु जी अंदर लेके तो मारो, इस सबके सामने क्या चल रहा है आपका? बड़ा क्लास में तो बोलते हैं glorification public, chastisement in private. क्या कर रहे हैं प्रभु जी? No, it's very difficult. And Vamandev is chastising Bali Maharaj in front of everyone. See, chastising is फिर भी okay. Vamandev just gave an indication to Garud, and Garud came with Pasha, and then he tied Bali Maharaj. Like as if a criminal is tied like that, Bali Maharaj was tied. And at that time, Vamandev started chastising. अगर नहीं दे सकता तो बोला क्यों देगा? You rascal! He went on and on and on. और Bali Maharaj बेचारे शांत. Why? Because Bali Maharaj knows operation began. And guess what? Since he tolerated the entire thing, so wonderful. Finally, he got such a wonderful destination. Such a wonderful destination where Lord is always with Bali Maharaj. He became such a wonderful devotee. Therefore, Bali Maharaj is said to be the epitome or the highest example of which anga of bhakti? Atma Nivedanam. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Parasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam. So Bali Maharaj is the highest example of this Atma Nivedanam. Another example that we can think of is Sudama. अभी सुदामा को भी अहंकार था, थोड़ा सा, ज्यादा नहीं, थोड़ा सा. And what was the अहंकार? I am the austere Brahmana. I am very poor and very austere. I am the austere Brahmana. And Krishna, he gave so much opulence to him that whatever those little trace was there, that was gone. That was gone. And then we have personality like Indra. Now, Indra's ahankar. Therefore, in Nandananda Ashtakam, it is very beautifully said. Vrindavana sunagaram vilasanuga surendra garva mochanam namami nandanandanam. That, oh Lord, you are that personality who performed wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan, and also you did a surgery in Vrindavan. And that is to this Indra. Now just imagine Indra's ahankar. Now, it was very nice analysis. Now say, anyone who Okay, someone is paying tax regularly and say the person does not pay tax or whatever. What will the government do or authorities do? Huh? Notice. Notice के बाद punishment. What will be the punishment? Max is put him behind the bars. ऐसे कभी देखा है कि he didn't pay tax, so hang him. As a newsman, he was hanged because he didn't pay tax. सोचिए, all the Brajvasis, every year they were paying tax by doing that Indra Yaga. One year, because this very cute boy, Krishna said, that entire pastime is so wonderful. You can see the mood of surrender of Brajvasis. Nanda Maharaj is telling Krishna about the entire yajna, and then Krishna said, what is the point of doing all that? We should worship Govardhan. We should worship cows. And Nanda Maharaj is saying, no, we cannot do all this. We have been doing, so we should continue. And finally, after a lot of discussion, Krishna said one thing. If you do, I'll be happy. And all the Vrajvasis, done. We will do. Itna logical discussion chal raha tha, and they're not agreeing at all. Krishna is posting logic. They are saying no. Another logic, they are saying no. And finally, Krishna said, I'll be happy. And okay, we'll do it. Okay, cancel. No other yajna. Now we'll worship Govardhan. So at that time, Indra got to know all these different things, that they are not ready to pay the tax. And then Indra decided, and he told his all servants, go and kill them, they're not paying tax. Now just imagine Indra's ahankar, that he started showering rains and it was all flooded, etc., etc. And Krishna didn't do anything to him directly, he just lifted Govardhan. But the ahankar was so great because Indra had entered the game. Now since he entered the game and he wanted to win the game, he was trying his best. He was throwing thunderbolts and this and that, but nothing is happening. And finally Indra realized that he is not an ordinary person, he is my Lord. And finally he comes, he begs forgiveness and things like that. And so many times Indra has been helped by the Lord to correct that trace of false ego that is there. So in this way we see that how Lord personally helps sincere devotees. Indra is a sincere devotee. That's how he is Surendra. He's Sura Indra. He is king of all the Suras, the demigods. It's not an ordinary position. हम लोग मजाक तो उड़ाते रहते हैं इंद्र का. I'm just not trying to speak so that if I end up there, then मजाक तो उड़ाते रहते, but then we should understand his position. If Krishna has given him the position of leading all the Suras, all the Devatas, imagine how great he will be in his bhakti. So therefore Krishna takes personal interest and then goes and then he cleanses the traces of false ego that is there. Therefore Srila Prabhupada writes in this purport, as soon as this knot is loosened, which knot are we talking about? Ahankar. When this knot is loosened, all the clouds of doubt are at once cleared off. So whatever misgivings are there, whatever doubts are there, it's cleared off. And one sees his master and fully engages himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Ahankar nikalte hi, the person comes to his constitutional position. I am the servant and Lord is my master. As soon as the person understands this, realizes this, what he will do? He'll render devotional service. So he'll render devotional service. And when he renders devotional service, full termination of the chain of karmic reactions. Therefore, the second thing that is spoken in this verse is, Chidyante sarva samshayah. All doubts are removed. So there can be various doubts when it comes to Krishna consciousness. There are so many people with so many doubts. Firstly, the most lowest of the thing is being very doubtful if soul exists. I really don't understand how these Christians, they say that there is no soul in animals. Buddhi kahan hai? No buddhi at all. There is no soul in animals. So we can kill them and eat them. Only soul is there in human beings. That's it. But you can easily make out, Baba, the soul is there. Anything that moves, anything that is conscious, soul is there. So this is the first thing. So people don't believe that soul exists. And then even if the soul exists, some people say that everything is Brahman. And finally the goal is you merge in Brahman. Oh, pot wala analogy is very nice. No, the pot is there, pot के अंदर air, बाहर air, pot को break करो, this air, that air, one. वाह, क्या analogy है मतलब. बहुत दिमाग लगा के analogy बनाया एकदम. So there are people like that also. So for them, everything is Brahman and there is no individuality. So all these different things are like dense darkness. Krishna Surya Sama, as soon as Krishna rises, as soon as Krishna is rising in one's life, all this dense darkness will be removed. अभी आप लोग एकदम हंस रहे हैं ना एकदम है करके. You see, you go to those people and you speak about this और ऐसे ही हंसिए, they'll feel so offended and they'll feel तू पागल है, तू पागल. Everything is Brahman. You are an illusion to feel that you are an individual. Everything, वो एकदम serious होते हैं वो लोग. And then you talk about sometimes ISKCON devotees are real offenders, I tell you. वो सामने जाएंगे, तू मर्ज करेगा. तू मर्ज कहाँ मर्ज करेगा तू? And sometimes devotees tell in the class also that क्या लाइट से आए ये लोग, लाइट से आए, तेरे पापा लाइट है. तेरे पापा लाइट है. Especially for that निराकार thing. So they'll say, भगवान निराकार कैसे? तेरा बाप निराकार है क्या? So you see, this point is very important. They are taking it very seriously. No, Lord is formless, this and that. Why do they believe this so firmly? ऐसा नहीं है कि just like that. They believe it firmly. Why? Because they are in darkness. और हम लोग एकदम से भागवतम क्लास में बैठ के जोर से हंस रहे हैं. Because we are in light as of now. Therefore, we don't have doubt about this. You know what? I have met devotees who have transformed their belief or their conception, I should say, from Nirakar to Sakar. And they were sharing how difficult it is to do this transition from Nirakar to Sakar. How difficult it is to accept that Krishna has a form. आप लोग सब सोच रहे हैं क्या बोल रहे हैं, क्या डिफिकल्टी क्या है? कृष्णा हैज फॉर्म, कृष्णा हैज फॉर्म. डिफिकल्टी क्या है? डिफिकल्टी है द वंस हु आर इन लाइट, वंस हु हैव दैट नॉलेज बाय द मर्सी ऑफ द लॉर्ड, जिनका जो बटन ऑन है अंदर, स्पिरिचुअल बटन जिनका ऑन है, फॉर देम इट्स वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड कृष्णा हैज अ फॉर्म, कृष्णा हैज ट्रांसेंडेंटल पास टाइम्स एंड दिस एंड दैट. बट दोज पीपल जिनका बटन बंद हो गया है, they can never understand this. And for them to do this transition is very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Therefore, one thing we have to understand is, if today we are sitting and understanding all this and we are in light, it's the sheer mercy of Lord on all of us. All of us. Therefore, Krishna says, Tesham evanukampartham. Okay, please read. Tesham evanukampartham. Aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata. This is called technique of keeping kids attentive. Make them chant shlokas. So what does Lord do? When he showers this special mercy on his devotee or on the living entity, he lights the lamp of knowledge within. And when this lamp of knowledge is lit, so at that time the devotee is able to perceive everything clearly. He is able to see everything clearly. So this point is very, very important. Therefore, Prabhupada is writing. Prabhupada writes this in the purport. Same purport. He is just giving the translation of 10.11, the same shloka that we chanted, and he says, he personally eradicates the dense darkness of all misgivings by switching on the light of pure knowledge within the heart of a devotee. So Lord switches on the light. And this knowledge is what helps. Therefore, these realizations that we have, this clarity that we have, see, even to accept or to have this realization that Krishna has a form is a very big thing. To have this realization that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead is a very big thing. To have this realization that Bhakti is the topmost way to realize or to attain Krishna, very big thing. Very, very big thing. Therefore, when we have all these different things with us, the treasure, and when so many devotees around us also have that treasure, We have to cherish this treasure and protect it very nicely. As soon as the person commits an offense, immediately button automatically band ho jata hai. And when the button gets off, so at that time, the basic things of Krishna consciousness does not get into the head. At least when I have counseled those devotees whose buttons are off, and you can easily make out kiska button off hai aur kiska on hai. So when we are talking to those devotees, and the devotees are very clear, Prabhuji, I know all this, but I'm not understanding it as of now. नहीं घुस ही नहीं रहा है, क्या करूं मैं? नहीं घुस रहा है. It's not going inside. Therefore, it's very important to note that this button, when it goes off, we'll have tough time. At that time, the only thing that we have to do is somehow the other, yena kena prakarena, be in devotional service. Keep doing devotional service. Be under shelter of a superior. And other devotees who are there, when they see that the button is off, they should pray for that devotee. Especially those devotees who have spent some time in bhakti, they can easily make out kiska button on hai, kiska off hai. And as soon as you see that, oh, something is wrong with this devotee, you should pray to the Lord. Oh Lord, only you can switch on the light of knowledge. Please switch on the light of knowledge for this devotee. He's a nice devotee. Bichara thoda offense yahan wahan karta rehta har din. But he's a nice devotee. Sincerely bhakti kar raha hai. Please, please switch on the light. So in this way, it's our responsibility. It's the responsibility of the devotee community to help every devotee who is, as of now, is in darkness. We all should take special interest in the life of the devotee. Just imagine 100 devotees start praying every day in the Mangalarti. Oh Lord, please switch on the light. Oh Lord, please switch on the light. Oh Lord, please switch on the light. So, boliye, Lord will not switch on the light. He will do that. He will shower His special mercy on that devotee. And किसी का भी बटन कभी भी बंद हो सकता है. You take example of Indra only. Now what happened? He lifted Govardhan. Lord lifted Govardhan. Indra's pride was crushed to powder. And then Indra comes and offers prayers. He submits himself to the Lord. Indra also comes, वो खुद नहीं आता है directly. He gets Surabhi cow in front. तो आगे जा. And then he's standing behind the cow. Entire logic is, if mother is there, my father will not shout at me. Yes, the Lord will not shout, the master will not shout at me. So he went, he offered prayers, he submitted himself. Yes, you are master, I am servant. All that was done. And then Krishna went to Mathura, then Krishna went to Dwarka, and then Krishna got to know that a demon called Narkasur, he has kidnapped the 16,100 queens. And Krishna goes there. He goes alone? He goes with Satyabhama. And he goes there, he kills Narkasur, he releases all of them. And Narkasur had something with him, which belonged to the Devatas. What was that? What was that? No, he didn't have that. Earrings. He had kundal. Indra ke maa ka kundal tha uske paas. So as soon as Krishna got the kundal, they said, okay, so my devotee's mother's kundal, let me go and give it. So he went to Indra and to give, and then he gave the kundal. So Satyabhama was also there. So Satyabhama is like, such a wonderful tree this is. Chahiye mujhe. Krishna is like, swarg ka hai. Kya ho fir? I want it. And then, can you imagine? Krishna took the tree, from the heaven. And at that time Indra comes, hey, mera hai. Can you imagine? Abhi to prayers offer kiya tha. And then now mera hai, kahan le ja? And to such an extent, can you imagine? Indra fought with Krishna and Krishna had to defeat Indra. This happened. Button off, and forcefully Krishna switched on the button. He switched on and then Indra is again, okay, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just imagine, if Indra can get into this situation, hum log kya hai fir? Indra ke samne? Who are we? Therefore, it's very important to note that anytime this can happen with us, therefore, we shouldn't be proud of the realizations that we have got. Devotees are always humble. They always understand one thing, that yes, it's only by the mercy of the Lord that this particular realization I have. I'm a beggar after all. Amito Kangal. I am a beggar. Whatever little treasure I have got, it is not my treasure which I have earned. This is a treasure that is gifted to me by my Guru, by the Acharyas, by Krishna. This is the realization that the devotee has. He stays humble. He is not proud. Because that person who becomes proud because of realizations, he'll commit offenses and immediately the button will go off, realizations are off. Simple. And devotees should also pray to Krishna that please help me, O Lord, not to become proud. Please help me, so that I don't get into darkness, I don't get into ignorance. है अपना लाइफ इतना छोटा सा, इतना ही है, दिख भी नहीं रहा है अभी उसमें. बताइए टाइम कहाँ है? इग्नोरेंस में घुसो, फिर उसके बाद बटन ऑन नहीं है, बटन ऑन करो, यू डू एंड टेल एवरीवन, यू प्रे टू द लॉर्ड, फिर बटन ऑन होगा, फिर भक्ति करेंगे. व्हाट इज दिस? हु हैज टाइम फॉर ऑल दिस? डू वी हैव टाइम? पहले तो भक्ति करने को ही टाइम नहीं है. And after coming to bhakti, start practicing bhakti, and then while doing bhakti, your button goes off. You're not getting any taste to do that. Who has time for all this? Therefore, a devotee has to be very serious and implement these different principles of devotional service. And one of the principles is cultivating humility. This is one of the principles. And we have to cultivate this humility so that we can practice bhakti uninterruptedly. Very, very important. Therefore, we chant every day, Trinadapi Suni Chena. Humbler than the blade of grass, but so difficult to implement. But at least with this greed, that I don't want the button to be off. Let me remain humble. Let me not become proud. That will actually help us. Therefore, in this way, this is what this shloka says. Chidyante sarva samshayah. But as soon as a devotee starts advancing in bhakti, we will see. Now, maybe the newcomers who might be sitting in the class, they might be thinking, पता नहीं प्रभु जी क्या बोल रहे हैं, तब से अहंकार, बटन, कौन सा? ठीक है, बाद में मेंटर से पूछता हूँ कौन सा बटन के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. You know what? The same concept you hear after some more years of practicing Krishna consciousness. You'll be able to understand it very nicely. So what was the change between the two cases? The class was same, but then your advancement in bhakti was more in the second case. So when you advance in bhakti, naturally, those things which you're not able to understand before, now you can understand it very easily. Therefore, this point is very, very important. As we advance in devotional service, the concepts or the various truths of Krishna consciousness will be revealed to us step by step. इससे मरते नहीं रहना चाहिए, अभी हो जाना चाहिए. I want to understand everything. अभी. ऐसा नहीं होता है भक्ति में. You cannot understand all the truth at one go. Yes. Not possible. For that, one has to advance in bhakti and come to the stage. With time, we will be able to understand various different things. And it all depends on one's sincerity, seriousness and Krishna consciousness. And Krishna is ready to reveal. It's not that Krishna is hiding, nahi bataunga. Krishna is ready to reveal. Step by step, he wants to reveal everything. Therefore, this point is very, very important. That Chidyante sarva samshayah. All the misgivings will be removed. With time, all the anarthas also come into this category. Anarthas will also be removed. And finally, the shloka says, Kshiyante chasya karmani. And here very nicely Srila Prabhupada is writing, in material existence, a living being creates his own chain of fruitive work and enjoys the good and bad effects of those actions life after life. But as soon as he engages himself in loving service of the Lord, he at once becomes free from the chain of karma. His actions no longer create any reaction. So we are struggling because of this. We are struggling because of the chain of karma that is there. So when you advance in bhakti, this will happen. Shiyante chasya karmani. The cycle that is there will be destroyed. Therefore, Padma Puran says, please repeat. Aprarabdam phalam papam. Kutam bijam phalonmukham. Kramenaiva praliyante. Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. So when you advance in devotional service, doesn't matter in which stage your karmic reaction is. Is it an unmanifest stage? Is it there in the form of tendency? Is there in the form of desire? Whatever it is, all that will be removed. Now the question might come, is this only for human beings? And Brahma is very nicely saying, Yastvendra gopam athavendra aho swakarma. Now don't repeat, it will be difficult. Bandhanurupam palabhajana matanoti. Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam. Govindamadi purusham. So there's a very nice thing which Lord Brahma is praying, and he says, Yes, Tvendra Gopam Athavendra Mahausvakarma. He's saying beat Indra or beat Indra Gop. So Indra is Surendra we are talking about. And Indra Gop is an insect. So both Indra and Indra Gop are stuck in the cycle of karma. In the cycle of punya and papa. But as and when the person starts practicing bhakti, bhakti bhajam, when a person starts practicing bhakti, what happens? Karmani nirdahati. All the karmic reactions are burnt. So wonderful. There are some devotees plan also. I'll do bhakti, I'll burn all my karma, then I'll advance in my material life. When you ask people, why am I suffering? Then people say, because of your pap. And then how should I remove pap? By doing bhakti. So my pap will get removed, then I'll be able to advance in my material life. So we are not here for that. We are here to advance in spiritual life, not for material life. Therefore, this point is very important, for us to understand and imbibe that when we do devotional service, the karmic reactions which are there, those are all burnt. And to put it in another angle, when we start doing devotional service, I'm talking about those who are on the path of surrender. Not the ones who just come and do little bit here and there, half round, quarter round and all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about sincere 16-rounder devotees, following 4 relative principles, who are on this path of surrender, trying to implement the 6 angas of surrender, starting with Anukulis Sankalpa. I'm talking about those devotees. So for them, Krishna personally takes charge of the devotee. So Krishna personally taking charge of the devotee means what? Now whatever the karmic reactions are there, now material nature is not going to give that devotee. It will be given by Krishna himself. So now we have, before what used to happen, we had our karmic reaction, we have Prakriti and we have ourself. So karmic reaction jo bhi hai, Prakriti will just transfer it just like that. But now we have Krishna in between. So we are here, Krishna and our karmic reactions. So now when karmic reactions are there, Krishna will see that, he'll modify and then he'll give it to the devotee. So when he modifies, so even when the devotee is supposed to suffer a lot, he modifies and he just gives a little. Like for example, किसी का हाथ टूटना चाहिए था, he just gets a cut. So whenever devotees get a cut, always remember this. आज मेरा हाथ टूटने वाला था, but only cut. So nice. Thank you, Krishna. Now just imagine, outsiders see all this. पागल हो गए ये लोग. हाथ कटा और जाके बोलता thank you, Krishna. Many times it has happened. And this you can actually see when you are in association with sincere devotees. I feel very fortunate that so many of my counselees are so sincere, so wonderful. One of my Grihastha counselees, they met with an accident. It was a massive accident. The car, it toppled and it fell down. And the car was in a very, very ugly state. There was one Prabhu, Mataji and her kid. And Mataji was hurt in various places, things like that. Prabhu was not hurt that much because he was wearing seat belt. So, as soon as I got to know, I went to see the devotees. They were admitted in the hospital. And that Mataji was lying on the bed. The saline chadaya hua hai, and then the blood is coming from different parts of the body and all that. And she is smiling, looking at me, Hare Krishna, bro, jaiye. I said, so sad, yes, such thing has happened. And at that time, she said such a wonderful thing. She said, Prabhuji, actually I should have died. But Krishna is so merciful. Little bit hurt here and there. Obviously, I'm not able to get up from here. I'm not able to move my body here and there. But at least I'm alive. And he told a very nice thing. That I'm still able to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. She was chanting even at that time. And when she was there on the bed lying, she was asking me, Prabhuji, my bead bag is missing. Can you please see where it is? I'm asking these people, they are not responding only. I asked, bhai, kahan hai iska bead bag? And she kept on talking about bead bag to such an extent, devotees had to go to that spot and find out the bead bag and then give it to her. Especially bead bag dhundne gaye devotees, not to that spot. This is called a sincerity. And us time pe mujhe lag raha tha, yes, this is what it is. This is how devotees take, various incidences in their life, and therefore devotees are happy even when the blood is oozing out from different part of the body. The devotee has the guts to smile and welcome another devotee saying, Hare Krishna, Aiye Puja, Aiye. As if I've gone to their house to have prasad. So wonderful. This inspires me in Krishna consciousness. When we have such sincere devotees around, this inspires a lot. From Shastra, we have a very nice example which illustrates all the three which we spoke today. What is the first concept that we discussed? The knot. We discussed about the knot. The first line of the shloka says, Vidyate hridaya granthis. That is breaking or piercing the knot. Second, Chidyante sarva samshayah. So we spoke about how the Lord removes all the misgivings. And third one, yes, Kshiyante chasya karmani. So Krishna destroys all the karmic reactions also. And the last line says, Drishta evatmanishware. So when the devotee advances in bhakti and finally comes to a stage, at the stage of premi bhakta, on the stage of prema, and he gets sakshat darshan of the Lord either within or without, all these things simultaneously manifests. And Jiva Goswami says that this is secondary result, this is not primary result. ये कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, Jiva Goswami is saying. हमारे लिए बड़ी बात है, but for the devotees on that stage, it's not a big thing. So he says it's a secondary result. And I was just wondering, is there any devotee like that, in Bhagavatam, who got darshan of the Lord and all these things manifested? And immediately a name came to my mind. The small kid, 5-year-old boy, Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj did wonderful devotional service. 6 months, 1 semester, he attained Krishna. Can you imagine? 6 months he attained Krishna. Yes. So he was doing really very tough austerities. Very tough austerities. And what was the reason for that? He wanted to sit on his father's lap. Uttanpad. So Uttanpad had a he had a wife, and his wife's name was Suruchi, and Suruchi's son was sitting on the lap. His name was Uttama. So Uttama was sitting on the lap. And Dhruva Maharaj wanted to sit, ye khali hai to main yahan baithunga. And Uttanpad saw that samne wife khadi, and if I make him sit, then it will be a big problem. He didn't allow. And Dhruva Maharaj, he was an innocent 5-year-old boy. And Suruchi started saying, Beta, idhar aao. Nahi baith sakte is baar. Tumhe marna hoga aur mere कोख से जन्म लेना होगा. You have to die and take birth from my womb, then you can sit on your father's lap. You're not qualified as of now. And Dhruva Maharaj, he went crying. He went to his mother and he's asking Suniti that all this happened, what to do? And Suniti says, you go and take help from Vishnu. Where is Vishnu? Go to forest. Kitna acha hoga na? So the son goes and he's asking mother that so-and-so thing has happened. Who will help me? And then the mother is saying, only Krishna can help you. Where is Krishna? Go to ISKCON temple. Go join. That was the case of Dhruva Maharaj. Suniti is saying, go to forest. Just imagine this small boy. Kitne khush ho rahe aap log? The small boy, he's entering the forest. Narad Muni comes there. So, Bacha, kahan ja rahe ho? And he's like, I want Vishnu. And he started laughing. So many people there in ISKCON are chanting 16 rounds. Unko mile nahi, aapko kya milenge? Go. So many people are doing tapasya in the forest. And they are not able to attain the Lord. How will you attain? Chota bacha, go home. Go and play. Go. And Dhruva Maharaj was so determined. So very determined. He said, agar help karna hai to karo. Main to Hare Krishna. I'm going. And Dhruva Maharaj left. And then Narad Muni, no, wait. And Narad Muni told what he's supposed to do. He said, go to Madhuvan. And there you chant this mantra. You do this deity worship. And he gave the entire list of things to do. And Dhruva Maharaj, like a very, very obedient disciple, he executed all that for 6 months. And after that, Dhruva Maharaj was in deep meditation. And he got Sakshat Darshan of the Lord in the heart. And Dhruva Maharaj was in a blissful state altogether. So blissful. Sometimes devotees come and they say, Prabhuji, yesterday I got Krishna in my dream. And they're so happy. Krishna in my dream. It actually, any spiritual dream, I'm sure all of you might have got some spiritual dream. It actually gives a lot of, when you get up in the morning, you're very fresh. It reveals a lot of bliss. No, and any spiritual dream is there. Yes. Now just imagine if a spiritual dream, which might be a concoction, can give us so much of bliss. Just imagine when the Lord appears in the heart of a devotee, how much bliss the devotee will get. We have to aspire to reach that stage where we'll get darshan of the Lord. It will be so wonderful. At that time, the devotee will remember, Bhagavatam class में Prabhuji ने बोला था, lotus feet ऐसे दिखते हैं, okay, flute ऐसे है, okay, the eyes are like this. अभी तो हम लोग वो place ही नहीं कर पाते ना पूरे body में भगवान के. Lotus eyes, petals, reaching till the ears. And the eyes are red. I hope everyone knows, the eyes of the Lord are red, not white. And then you have the retina, the black retina. Now the devotee is लाल आँख, वो कैसे दिखते रहेंगे एकदम? वो लास्ट वो घोस्ट मूवी मैंने देखा था, उसका आँख लाल था. See, Max, this is what we can relate to in this world. It's very difficult. And then the navel is like lotus, hands are like lotus, legs are like lotus. And the devotee imagines all lotus everywhere. So what can you see? A bouquet of lotus. अभी बताइए मुझे. तो मतलब we will not be able to make out only what is what. The description of the Shastra, I will not be able to make out. Maybe we'll put all that lotus and put one peacock feather at the top. That's what max we can do. But when the devotee gets Sakshat Darshan of the Lord, when the Lord reveals himself to the devotee in the heart, the devotee is extremely blissful because he's getting the darshan of Sachidananda Vigraha, Sarva Karanam Karana, Krishna. He is there in front. And every devotee waits for that day. You all are waiting, right? Say yes. Yes. Thank you. Every devotee waits for that day. That when will that day come in my life and I'll be able to witness the beautiful form of the Lord? When will that day come and Lord will reveal himself to me? And this day had come in the life of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj ne itna hanker to nahi kiya tha, but by the mercy of Narada Muni and his intense austerity, he got Sakshat Darshan of the Lord in the heart. And what happened is, suddenly darshan was not there. He was not able to see the Lord in the heart. And he became agitated. What is this? I'm not able to see. Same thing happened with Narada Muni. Narada Muni was a small boy. पता नहीं ये 5 साल के बच्चे इतने सारे क्या कर रहे भागवतम में. Sometimes I feel that purposely Vyasdev has put all these 5-year-old kids to make us feel ashamed. नहीं बड़े घोड़े हो गए, कुछ भक्ति नहीं कर रहे. Donkeys. Literally I feel Vyasdev का मूड ही ऐसा है. You donkeys do bhakti. देखिए छोटे छोटे बच्चे भगवान को पा गए. Narada Muni is also 5-year-old. He is meditating. And he got Sakshat Darshan of the Lord in the heart. And the Darshan was, he's not able to see the Darshan. He went mad. He was opening his eyes. Ekdam forcefully he's meditating. कैसे meditate किया था मैंने? कैसे बैठा था मैं? How was I breathing? What was I doing? But Narada Muni was not able to get Darshan of the Lord. Obviously there was an Akashvani that said, Abhi nahi milega, next life. But those devotees who get Darshan of the Lord and they miss the Darshan, only those devotees can tell what is the pain. हमें तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. पता नहीं नारद मुनि इतना क्यों ये कर रहे थे. ठीक है, नहीं मिला तो नहीं मिला दर्शन, क्या प्रॉब्लम है? We will not be able to understand. We will not be able to understand the state of existence of Dhruva Maharaj when he was not able to see the Lord within. But when Dhruva Maharaj opened his eyes, he saw the Lord in front of him. And Dhruva Maharaj was so happy, immediately paid obeisance. At another place it is said that Dhruva Maharaj started licking the lotus feet of the Lord. He started licking the lotus feet of the Lord. And another devotee was sharing, I don't know if it was in commentary given by the Acharya. He said, छोटे बच्चे क्या करेंगे? जो भी सामने दिखा, मुंह में डालो. And Dhruva Maharaj was licking the lotus feet of the Lord. And Dhruva Maharaj wanted to offer prayers, but he does not know anything. He's just a 5-year-old boy. So at that time, Lord, with his conch, he touched the head of Dhruva Maharaj. And उससे क्या हो गया? Button got switched on. And he started offering wonderful prayers to the Lord. So see what happened. The first thing that took place was, he had this ahankar. I'm a king. Or I'm a prince. I'm a Kshatriya by nature. How he didn't allow me to sit on the lap. And therefore he took a vow to he entered the game. I want the kingdom greater than my great-grandfather Brahma. अभी बहुत difficult है सोचना भी. मतलब universe के अंदर something which is bigger than universe. See, to think that and to desire that also you need some guts. Universe के अंदर बड़ा universe, bigger than the existing one. And with that mood, he entered that game of ahankar. And Narada Muni also, when Dhruva Maharaj said, if you want to help, then help her. At that time, Narada Muni glorifies, oh, so wonderful these Kshatriyas are. Even the small boy, 5-year-old innocent boy is having this Kshatriya spirit. So he was having that false ego. But as soon as he saw the Lord, the false ego was removed. He just became the servant. The next thing that took place was, all that hatred that he had towards Uttanapad or Uttama or Suruchi, all that was removed completely. And what is the proof for this? Yes. When he went back after this entire sadhana, when he went back attaining Siddhi, so at that time Suruchi came, Suniti came. So obviously he went and touched his mother's feet, Suniti's feet. He also touched the feet of Suruchi. And he accepted his younger brother. In fact, younger brother was killed by some yakshas. He went to kill all the yakshas. And all this shows that he had forgiven all of them. So all that anartha that was there, all that misgivings which were there in the heart, all of that was gone as soon as he got darshan of the Lord. And Shiyante Chasya Karmani, all karma was destroyed. What's the proof for this? Lord himself personally said, at the end of life, you will come to me. Don't worry. Kitna maza aayega na? Just imagine that today Lord appears to you and Lord says, tension mat le. Sara karma chala gaya tera. At the end of life, you're going to come to me. Bas fir to sense gratification. No tension at all. You can do as much sense gratification. Obviously, devotees will not do that. So you can see here that Lord is telling him, anyways, you will come to Vaikuntha at the end of life. And Dhruva Maharaj was so satisfied with him. But our Lord is not straight, no. Our Lord is teda. So in darshan, when Lord gave darshan, so at that time, Lord is asking, chahiye? वो पूछा था ना तूने, चाहिए कि नहीं? चाहिए कि नहीं? Do you want that or not? What? Kingdom bigger than the universe. You want or not? And at that time, Dhruva Maharaj is saying, Sthana vilashi tapasi stitoham Tvam praptavan deva munindra guhyam Kachan vichinvan api divya ratnam Swamin kritharthosmi varam nayache. He's saying, oh Lord, Sthana vilashi tapasi stitoham. Yes, for Sthana I did tapasya. To get a kingdom greater than my great-grandfather, I did tapasya. But I have attained you now. Sthana Abhilashi tapasi stitoham tvam praptavan. I have attained you. And who are you? Deva, Muni, Indra, Guhyam. You are very, very rare to attain. Even by great Munis and great kings and great sages. And then he says, Kachan vichinvan api divya ratnam. Actually, I was searching for pieces of glass. All that he was hankering for became tuchha. He's saying, I was searching for pieces of glass. But now I've got divya ratnam. And Lord is, chahiye ki nahi bata pehle. Do you want or not? And then the last, Dhruva Maharaj is saying, Swamin kritharthosmi varam nayache. Oh Lord, I'm completely satisfied. I don't want anything. I had attained you. So just imagine, just by reaching to that stage of devotional service, which Dhruva Maharaj did, he attained Krishna, and just by attaining the Lord, it so happened, all the three got manifested. The first thing is, Vidyate Hridaya Granthis. The knot of Ahankar was removed. He was no more a king, he was just a servant of Krishna. Second, Chidyante Sarva Samshayah. All that misgivings which were there in the heart towards anyone and everyone around him, all that was removed. Shiyante Chasya Karmani. All that karmic reactions which were there in the stock for him, Lord removed all that, and then Lord gave him assurance that he will go back home, back to Godhead. And finally, he was completely satisfied. He was completely blissful. He was completely happy. Therefore, the only solution that is given in Shastra throughout is advance in devotional service. Nothing else. This is what is given. Just by advancing in Krishna consciousness, all these things will manifest and the devotee will be situated in complete bliss and he will go and preach around about attaining this bliss to everyone else. And we are those fortunate souls whose buttons are still on. We're able to understand what is given in Shastra, and by Lord's mercy, who have some desire, maybe faint desire, but some desire to attain the Lord this very life. The only thing that we have to do is, with one pointed focus, advance in Krishna consciousness and reach this stage which Dhruva Maharaj reached and relish Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.